Hello and welcome to the shop. I'm Cindy Daychuk with Queen Bee Creations, and today we're doing a craft inspired by a baggie find at the thrift store. So you know how they have baggies hanging on the wall. This one is full of just odd shaped bisque pottery pieces. So I think these are the leftover cutouts from other things that they made. And so they are all different weird shapes. And what I'm going to do, is dig out a bunch of different ones, paint them up, and turn them into pendants. Because why not? That's what you do, isn't it? So, oh, there's a flower in there. Okay, well, that's a given that has to become a pendant. And I'm looking at, okay, so I got one that's a little heart shape, and I'll just show you right now. So I have a drill bit on here that is good for ceramics and glass and things. And that's what you want, is just something that's going to work that way. This goes through that easily. Now that's pretty thin for a cord. So I might have to switch up one size. Maybe I'll do that. Switch up one size so that I'm not making my life totally awful with trying to find cording that goes through it. I think this is bigger. No, I think you're the same size. All right, I will find something that is bigger but not crazy huge. That might be you. I just want to get the holes drilled first before I do anything to it, so that if I break one or crack one, it's not something that I've already expensed my time in painting up. Makes sense to me. So I'm going to put holes in the little pieces I find and then pull you in over top to kind of go with the painting aspect. I'll probably just paint base coat some and then come back. That maybe works. All right, to start with, I am just going to base coat them. And this is just a disposable little plastic plate that I was going to say I thrifted, but I actually got a stack of them at the dump when I was on vacation. Because that's what people do, is they go to the dump when they're on holidays, is it not? That's what I do. All right, so I'm just going to get each of my little shapes, and I have a whole grouping of them. I'm just going to get them base painted first, and I'm just using acrylic paints because I have them. Because these are still sort of porous, you could use something like a tempera paint or watercolor paint if you wanted. You could use any of your all-in-one craft paints, and I may get some of those out and base coat in those because I have some wonderful colors in the new Alchemy line, but you could use Fusion as well. So we're just going to get these base coated before we come back and start doing some designs on them. And this is just a fun find. Now, I realize that you're not going to be walking into your thrift store and finding a baggie of little bisque fired clay pieces. But you could use broken shards of plates and just use your sander to kind of grind the edges smooth. If they've got a cool pattern on them, then you don't paint them, you just shape them if you need to, and just go with whatever pattern they come up with. But you could also do cookie cutouts or even freeform cutouts by hand of your air dried clay if you would want to do that. So you have full control over the direction you go with any of this. And I don't want you to feel that for something like this that you're stuck because, gee, you don't have these pieces. I didn't either, but it just inspired me to do this. But you know what? You could do something like this with anything else that you have on hand, and the air dried clay would work perfectly.
Now that these have had a chance to dry, we get to paint them out however we want. We can use our acrylic paints, we could use paint markers, we could use Sharpies, whatever works for you. The only thing that you have to bear in mind is that we did a base coat in acrylic paint or I think this was Alchemy, an all-in-one paint, but they've got a sealer on it. So when you go to add like a paint pen or a marker, just be careful when you go to seal it. If you're going to brush your sealer on, like maybe with a gloss Mod Podge, you want to make sure that that's not going to wipe away your design. So instead, you might want to use something like a thick crystal clear glaze that you spray on so that you're not going to be disturbing whatever your design is. But you really get to just kind of go to town now. You get to come up with, well, here, and I'm doing mine two-sided because, I'm looking at these being little pendants, so they could flip around on somebody's neck, in which case I want them to work from all sides. So this one, I'm just kind of envisioning a chicken. So it's kind of looking up, kind of a little bird. And, oops, other side has two eyes. And for this, you could just do dots all over it. You could do lines. You could do, it's yours. Go to town, paint it out however you'd like. I'm going to put some on the top. So I'm even going to dot edges because why not? So you're just going to color these, paint these. I have paints kind of on the ready in case I have a design that kind of lends itself to paints better. But you get to do whatever you'd like. And this, again, works just the same if I used my little chicken. So just ready for coating. So this I will spray. I will lay them all out on one side on plastic wrap. I'll spray all one side, let it dry, and then flip it over, spray the other side. So just know we'll come back to that. Now, some of these you may want to do a little bit more detail. So for instance, here, I'm just going to, that's a little too pale a pink. Let me go with a different one. So I'm just going to do quick little lines. And maybe you have better markers than me. Mine are getting old. Ooh, that's exciting. I like the thought of buying new craft items, which I shouldn't want to have to do that all the time. So the idea with this, let me just finish one side for you and I can carry on with the other, is that I can then take green. These will ultimately be little flowers, and I know it doesn't look like it, but I just want to show you not everything has to be perfect. To start, we get to add in details. I think I like them with 2 leaves. And then I can go in with like a fine black. And now I can add some quick lines around them to make them look a little bit more hand-drawn and funky, and just kind of really pull them out. And ultimately then, that becomes my pendant, right? There's my hole. So you just start to paint these in whatever way makes sense. And you can add in details with fine markers. Because I'm going to be spraying the sealer on them, then I have less of an issue with running. But you can test it to make sure that when you do whatever you're sealing it with, that it doesn't cause it to bleed out. So I'm going to continue and get mine all painted out and sealed. And then I'll show you, well, I'm thinking I'm going to show you. I'll show you how to finish them off. I may have a cute trick on how to do an adjustable cord, if I can remember. It's been a while. My pendants have all been sprayed. You can see I like the nice glossy finish on them. Now, when you go to string them, you can just simply put your loop through and I put away my little poker. I just do a little bit of that. So you're just going to loop it through, and you could choose to just tie off the end, but I want to show you a way of being able to do this so that it remains adjustable, because maybe somebody wants the pendant up higher for a particular outfit, wear it lower for a different one. Everybody likes to wear them differently. So we're going to take our two strands, take the right one. This is my right hand. So put the right one here. This is what works for me. And then this is my left strand. So I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to take this strand over the top and I'm going to hold that with my index finger and I'm going to wrap it 3 times around those cords and around my finger. And then I'm going to take that little tail and I'm going to hopefully find which one is the tail and push it through all 3 of those loops. And I'm just kind of sliding it down toward the end so I don't have a long tail. And then this knot slides. So we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side now. This becomes our loop. We're going to take it over the top, hold it there, wrap it 3 times around that finger, a little tiny tail now, and I'm going to push that tail through all 3 of those loops. I find it easiest. And I'm going to push it down toward the end where the tail is, and then pull that tail tight. So now I can move these down, right? They move on different cords. Make it shorter, make it longer. I can trim these off a little bit so they're not quite as big. And then you have a nice adjustable pendant. So this one I had done just, it was already this kind of metallic-y green. So, and it was fairly fat. So I did some funky shading on the ends, drew some leaves on it. This little bird, just a little bit of, kind of a little bit of greenery down on its wing. This one, little flowers. This leaf, I just drew more leaves on and dotted some pink acrylics. This can be a very bright and funky one. We've got our little chicken. This was that big flower. Our heart, I did this flower, this little bird, this bird. I don't know what this is actually. I don't like this one, but that's the way it goes. So I'm going to get these all strung up and then we can reconvene.
Okay, here's all our finished little pendants. I probably have them all. We have them all mixed up together, but they're super cute. We've got our little spotted chicken, and I did all of these on those slip knots so that they're fully adjustable in terms of length. You want to leave it enough that it can go over the head, and then people can adjust it even as they're wearing, right? And these are, you know, kind of a little bit of a ribbony cord. I have some that are done on ribbon, and ribbon is going to slide. I've got some that are done on, nope, that's that same cord. I've got some that are done on rubber, and I've got a couple that are done on just hemp cord, and they all work, but they're all super cute, right? Nice, simple little designs on them. Nothing totally outrageous, but nice and easy. This one's on the rubber cord. And super cute, super fun, all from a little bag that I have tons left of these little pottery pieces that I thrifted. You can do anything similar with painting up air dried clay pieces that just roll it out, cut out whatever shape you want. You could use cookie cutters to cut out a shape. You could use your molds and then drill holes into the molded items and paint them out and do the same. And I hope that the little tip in terms of doing the little slip knots there so that your necklace is fully adjustable. I was laying these down and now they're commingling. You know, it's a great way, especially if you're doing it for markets and things like that. The more that you leave whatever, you know, jewelry or pendant that you're doing flexible so that the user is able to adjust it to the size that they would like and that they can wear, the better. And because you can adjust these, right, that you can slide them once they're on, you can then make them go longer or shorter once the person's wearing them so that they can take it up so that, you know, it's lying a lot higher on them versus, you know, sliding it down, loosening it up so that now it's sitting way longer. Really increases the usability, the flex. You know, as soon as this becomes super flexible like this, sales increase because now people have alternate ways of being able to wear it. And if they want short necklaces versus long necklaces, you don't have to worry and futz with clasps on cording and things. Great way to be able to extend sales, but also for gift giving. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. Love to hear from you. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care.